Hey y'all, it's Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and it is my 34th wedding anniversary. Yes. Um, it's not been the day we kind of expected to have. You know, if you followed us post, we had a tent revival at church last week, and then we had a wedding yesterday. So there's been a lot of extra activity that we haven't been used to. And it was good. It was all good. But with that comes a lot of overstimulation for Steve. And so today he stayed home and I went to church. And that's what you do. You know, today we lived out our vows for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. And we've been living that one out. And that's what marriage is about. And it's taking care of one another, meeting one another where they need to be at, and just being there for one another. And today, I knew where he needed to be to recuperate and get himself back together. And our Sunday school lesson was about, we're studying David and facing your giants. And we happened to start a new chapter today about grieving, because David had to grieve the loss of Saul and Jonathan. And our teacher, which is Pastor Danielle, brought up that grief comes and grieving comes in so many different ways. And she wanted to give people to give examples. And several in the class gave different examples. Grieving is not just in death. You grieve when maybe you lose a job, or she used the example of people in divorce, and one gentleman used an example of losing his doctor or losing a friend. And I sat there and I thought, well, what would I say? You know, I've lost my mom recent. You know, I actually rode out to the graveyard today to just see if there was a flag on Daddy's grave, since he was military. And there wasn't. And for a second, as I was walking up, I was like, that grave's freshly dug. You know, that's not it. And yeah, that was my mom. And it's like, it's still so fresh looking out there. And we're in, pushing the 7th or 8th month? No. July, August, September, May, June. Oh, we're almost in the 11th month. June's the 11th month. And I grieved both my parents in different ways. But you can also just grieve the loss of normalcy. And that's kind of where I've been the last 7 months. My life has not been normal. Our lives have not been normal. And the not knowing, you know, you don't know where the future's going and what it's going to hold. And you can grieve that. Grief comes in so many different ways. And people handle it differently. But the main point that came out this morning is that you have to get through it. And you can't stay in it. The verse, His mercies are new every morning, comes to mind. And if it weren't, I don't know how I would have gotten through the last 7 months of not knowing. And, you know, last week was a tent revival at our church, and it was a call for healing and salvations. And we went with anticipation, and we went looking for a move. And what do you do when God doesn't move in the way you thought He was going to move? You just keep standing. You know what the Word says. The Word says, by His stripes we were healed. And you just keep standing. You don't know what that's going to look like, how it's going to come about. But we trust God. we've trusted God in this whole process. We continue to trust God in this process. Is it the way we want? No. But we know that He knows best. And we continue to stand. And one day, the testimony will be tremendous. And we know that. And we're looking for that day. Don't know when, how, what, but it will come one day. So, that's my thoughts for today. Just sitting out, enjoying the porch, and enjoying the birds and some dogs in the distance. And the coolness in the air. It feels so good. But no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, just continue to trust God. He's there. He provides a comfort and a peace in situations that make no sense, that you probably shouldn't in the natural have comfort and peace, but you add His super to your natural and you can get through anything. As always, don't bring shame to His name.